What was your first reaction when you heard the case? When you heard the decision? What was your very first reaction?
I cried. I cried. Okay, but I'm thrilled, obviously. But yeah, the immediate reaction was just tears.
Edie,
Can
it
we
was
ask
a
you what,
5-4
if
vote.
Thea were here, or I don't know if you believe in the afterlife, but what do you think she's thinking right now? Thea.
Thea?
Yeah, what is she thinking now?
Well, you did it, honey. Okay, obviously. Okay.
Miss Windsor, you can probably answer this better than anyone in America right now. What is love?
Wow. Okay. Well, love is a million things, depending if we're talking about adult love or love of kids or what have you. What was love with me and Thea started with incredible respect for each other. And two mantras. Mine was don't postpone joy, and Thea's was keep it hot. Okay? It's, of course, love is much more than that, and it's like the word marriage. Okay, it's magical, and hard to. I hadn't thought about it. I thought this. There's a hunk of a poem by Auden that's. So now I'm going to use the word still instead. So still I have the answer from the face that never will go back into a book, but asks for all my life and is the place where all I touch is moved to an embrace, and there is no such thing as a vain look. Okay, that's about it. Okay.
Edie, you've been described by many as a hero. How have these last few years been fighting this case?
I need you to talk a little
You've been
louder.
described by many as a hero. How have the last few years been working on this case and fighting this case?
Joyous, just joyous. Okay, I have found both in the gay community and certainly with my legal help, unbelievably close relationships. It has been joyful all the way, and yes, there were insults, interspersed, and it's like they just fell off. Okay.
Were you optimistic about the outcome yourself?
One at a time.
When you hear yourself compared to...
Guys, I'm deaf. I need one voice.
When you hear yourself compared to Rosa Parks or Louisa Brown or Harvey Milk, what do you think of yourself in that context? Rosa Parks, Harvey Milk?
Did you hear the question?
It makes me feel incredibly proud. Okay, incredibly proud and humble. Okay, wow, do I deserve this? It's some accident of history put me here. Just proud, very proud.
Were you optimistic
you
about
guys
the
should-
One at a
outcome?
time, one at a time.
She will not be able to hear unless there's one question at a time.
Were you optimistic about the outcomes going into today's decision?
Going into the case,
Were you sure you'd win when you were waiting for the ruling?
now when we were waiting for the ruling, no, I prepared 3 speeches. Okay. One was total win. One was as applied, which was a possibility, and one was total loss. So no, I wished, no question. I did not allow myself to assume we'd win. Okay, that's the truth.
Okay, one over here.
I thought we had every right to win. I thought our arguments were sound and everyone else's were insane. Okay.
Edie,
Yeah.
it was a 5-4 ruling.
Yes.
So can you speak to that statistic?
No, but maybe you guys go. Well, certainly Kennedy, and that is one of the things that gave me hope. Kennedy has voted on the side of gay equality twice before in very significant suits, and I hoped that he would this one as well. That's all I know to say about it, but some of these guys know the history better than I do.
Edie, can you tell us about your evolution from a closeted lesbian into a hero of the movement, and what made you not only come out of the closet but become take on a role of
Okay, some of it is almost incredible to me. I know that I worked for IBM for 16 years originally, and then for another 3 later. And I lied all the time. I worked in a kind of bastard group. We had a floor in the Time Life building. Okay, we're not situated with any other groups because we were brand new to the company. Okay, and we were very close to each other, and I lied all the time, so that indeed when our marriage, when our marriage announcement was in the New York Times. Okay, people, I lied. Okay, Edie, we were close friends. You lied. Okay, and couldn't help it. Okay, it's how it felt then. Internalized homophobia is a bitch. Okay, and I had some of it. Okay, we all had some of it, in our way.
Okay, two more questions.
Look, it's hot in this room for me, and I'm younger than Edie, so literally 2 more questions, because it's
Here
too
and
hot.
here.
I wanted to find something, if I have it, at some point way back, somebody asked, what do you think would happen if you win? And sadly, I don't have it in here. But what I talked about was the beginning of the end of stigma, okay, of lying about who we are, it's a different level of dignity than we've had, and that our kids have, and that the generation coming along doesn't really think it's all a bunch of baloney and unnecessary. They don't believe the discrimination, but my whole generation, has a new moving thing. Do I think ultimately, I think it's the end of suicides. I think it's the end of teenagers falling in love and not knowing that there's a future for them, with love.
One more question. When you started all of this, you said that people told you it's not the right time for the movement.
Baby, I'm sorry, I answered this.
I'm sorry, Edie, when you started all of this, you said that people told you it wasn't the right time for the movement, it wasn't the right time to attack this particular thing. Did you think that it would go all the way to the Supreme Court? Did you think that it would have such a lasting effect on the nation?
Once we started to work together, I thought anything was possible. It's true, we had an incredible relationship. Robbie describes it as we took turns being mother, taking care of the other one. But I really saw it as, from the beginning, we both thought we had the smartest people we had met, and so we had enormous confidence in each other, and then we added this smart guy, and then another smart person.
Okay, last question.
Edie, what's next? Are you going to keep embracing this role and bring gay marriage to every state of the country?
Probably not. I think there's a whole world of people who will do that. Will they find me a willing help if they need it? Absolutely. But no, that's certainly not going to be central in my life. Central in my life is going to be the rest. I don't have a ton of years left, and I would like to relax a little bit.
One lawyer question, that's it.
Yeah.
What does this mean in terms of other couples like Edie? Can they now, do they have to go to the courts to try and get money back that
They do.
had to pay?
I'll
answer all that.
Okay. Yeah, I need a lawyer to answer that.
Open up, is this retroactive for other couples?
Yeah, first of all, going forward, Section 3 of DOMA is dead. So people who are married, gay and lesbian couples who are married, now have full marriages entitled to equal respect under both state and federal law. In terms of other couples, that is going to depend, in terms of other couples who are married now, that's going to depend on each federal program and benefit. There's rules about how many years you can go back and get taxes back. There's rules about estate tax, et cetera, that will apply based on each program. Everyone who's brought a case, and there are a lot of people out there who brought cases, will get their relief, and will get, DOMA will be gone for them. Edie will get every cent of her money back with interest.